Welcome back to another episode of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me on deck tonight is my ever-vigilant co-host, Grejio and Lucas, helping to get us through the top news and gaming stories from the week. So sit back, relax, and get ready for episode 315.
Whoa, this is the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast, the show with irreverent live listeners, raging hosts, and eventually conversation about the best and the worst of the video games industry. So all that you're required to do now is to pick up your poison of choice. Expect the best, but prepare for the worst, and above all, enjoy the show.
Thanks everyone for joining in. Before we get into it this week, Grejio, Lucas, how are you boys?
Yeah, I'm well.
You're well?
Yeah. And me too. I'm doing good.
Good stuff. It's been a good week for all.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm
looking at Mardigan saying editing Lucas needs to cut out how he said your name then. What does that mean? What did you do? Whose name? Sorry. More information, Mardigans. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to me. I need shit spelt out for me 100%. But anyway, I'm doing good, and it's an exciting week. There is a lot of stuff going on in gaming world.
There is a lot of stuff going on, and the weather's starting to get a bit nicer, and spring is definitely here. So who knows? It's going to be a good week. We'll have a quick shout out, as always, to our live chat listeners. We've got Aiden, Mardigans, Radicus, Skrill, and the Wraith. How are you, peeps? Welcome, and thanks for joining us, as always. Wow, and the images have started.
Yeah, how good's that picture? What my toilet sees when I'm scrolling on Facebook. And for those that are listening to this on audio, it's half a peach.
With the stone still in.
With the stone still in there.
Oh dear, my poor toilet.
All right. Well, before I get sidetracked again, let's jump into the show. We've got a bit in store for everyone this week, including Nvidia changes their mind, Xbox had the trigger pulled for them, another Battle Royale, Ubisoft Forward, PS5 and Nintendo make the cut, and as always, we'll probably talk about a few games as well. So let's jump into it, shall we, boys?
Yeah, how Ubisoft are going to cop it from me again.
That's the reason I had to put it in there, you know? All right, this week in gaming, back in 2014 on the 9th of September, the original Destiny was released. So it's just celebrated its 6-year anniversary. It's still going strong. We're on Destiny 2 effectively in the coming months. Destiny 2.5 is apparently coming out with new light. And, of course, published by Activision, developed by Bungie, High Moon Studios, and Radical Entertainment. I didn't actually realise that other people had grabbed a hold of it apart from Bungie.
Are Activision still on board?
I don't think so.
No,
but I guess it was originally published.
It was
so the first Destiny was, but the second one, I think, by the time they got about, it was either just before the second one or just after the second one, they divorced themselves from Activision. They kind of, whatever was the deal, they sort of bought out their contract or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was just after.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That's information
So it's been going strong for 6 years. I'm back playing quite a bit of it. Grejio played a stupid amount of the first one and quite a bit of the second one as well. And it's still good for a bit of a run around and fun every now and again. Plus, I'm enjoying the quests now as well. So let's just jump straight into the games we've been playing this week, shall we? Luke, you and I are going to kick it off with a game that we played the other night with the Wraith, and that is Spellbreak. Yet another Battle Royale. This one's with a bit of a difference.
Well, yes, it is. But look, at its core, it's still just another Battle Royale, really. With the main difference being you don't have guns. It's all magic.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only difference that I could see anyway.
I don't know. We won our first game.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that they weren't bots because I feel like it was a fairly... What's that?
They were not bots.
Are you trying to convince yourself and myself, or you know for sure?
I know for a fact because there was some difficult parts. I think there might have been a couple of bots in there, but there were some difficult people that we took down.
Yeah, because it was a pretty convincing win. Like, I don't even... Did anyone get downed and revived? I don't actually think that happened.
No, not the first game.
No, and then the second one, we kind of got wiped out. That's why I thought it might have been bots for a first attempt. But
that's a lot of beginner's luck.
Maybe. But look, the Spellbreak is it's a battle royale, but it's a really good art style, and I liken the art style to being quite a fair bit like Breath of the Wild. It's that kind of cartoony vibrancy with that kind of terrain as well. The actual map is a little bit like that. Instead of having weapons, you have magic. You can take classes, so you can use, fire, lightning, ice. There might have been something else that I can't recall.
Toxic gas.
That's right, the fart dude.
Yep.
And then you can pick up upgrades that are, akin to picking up different tiered weapons in other games, but you're upgrading your magic ability. There's shields you can pick up, small shields, big shields, health potions, or whatever they are, and you just basically keep inside the circle, just like every other battle royale, and try to kill everybody else. Oh, and you can really jump in this game. Like, there's massive verticality to your actual jump ability, and look, I liked it. I actually really do like it, but at the same time, it's still, for me, I suffer from the same woes that I do pretty much any battle royale, and it's just, you just run into people that play the game non-stop, and you just feel like you can't win a trick. You just get absolutely destroyed. So it has that sort of feel to it as well. But I would actually really recommend anyone give this a go. It's on Epic Games. Is it free? Free to play? Epic Games.
Free on Epic Games.
Is it on console? I don't know. I haven't booted up my console in months, so I don't know if it's on any of the consoles.
I'll have a look.
Thanks, Greg, because I got no idea. I know it's on Epic Games. That's about it. But I don't know. I liked it. What did you think of it, Pat?
I really enjoyed it. It does have that same factor that you run into all the time with every single battle royale. You're good enough to hold your own for a little while, and then you get to a point where you start getting to the pointy end of the round, and it's just, you got no hope because you've got people that are playing it, constantly back to back, whereas we come in as just casuals to have a crack at it. But look, the art style is really good. It's controls. I like the idea of upgrading and swapping out your classes because the magic works on like a gauntlet system. So you pick up the gauntlets to do it. You can get certain things that'll actually work in together. So the toxic gas and the fireball working together, so you can actually blow things up and create bigger explosions to cause more damage, essentially. And everything else is very battle royale mantra.
All right. So it's not on Xbox, so there's that. And also the consensus is online that, the first game is all bots. Because everyone's winning. Everyone's winning their first round.
There you go. I knew it. There was no way we were good enough. We weren't lucky. We had no idea what we were doing, and we just managed to smash everyone. And then all of a sudden, the second match and the third match, mind you, I think the third match, we still did come like third.
Yeah.
In the squads. We actually didn't do too badly, but we I don't think we were ever going to win. But being bots in that first one, it was way too easy.
Wraith's just put another thing up in the chat. Greg, do you want to take us away with some Ghost, mate? You've jumped into that and had a bit of a plug.
Yeah, I got to play a little bit more this week. Yeah, look, I don't have too much more to say other than I'm still thoroughly enjoying it.
All right, hang on a second. You just called it Ghosts. I'm sure there might be some people out there going, what the hell is this Ghost game?
Tsushima.
Yeah, there we go.
That's right. So, I've been playing Ghost of Sushi Roll. And,
Sushi Roll?
Well, I've actually started calling it Ghost of Tenchu. But
yes.
in my own little space. But look, I'm still enjoying it. It's still providing me with lots of fun. I've finally gotten to the point where I've unlocked the second area of the map. So that's provided some new challenges now. So there's some new strongholds that have popped up all over the map that I'm yet to have a crack at. But yeah, still good.
Luke, Hero Siege.
Yeah, now, this is a game that I think I bought it. I don't know. Look, with PC games, it's really hard to work out where you get the bulk of your actual games because there are so many occasions where you get stuff for free, just like on websites, they give them away, or sometimes you might buy a bundle, like Humble Bundle. So I don't even know where I got this one from, but I played it quite a few years ago, and it was a good game. I liked it, but I didn't really get too much into it because it was still early days. It only just come out and all that. The Wraith and I started playing it the other night, and it's been years since I've played it, and it has changed. It is a very, very different game to what I remember playing back in the day. But what Hero Siege is it's basically a pixelated Diablo 3, which is probably Diablo 2.
Or Diablo.
Well, Diablo I don't think was ever what I would call pixelated. It was low quality graphics, but it wasn't a pixel art game. This is a pixel art game. And it's actually quite good. Like it has a lot of the core mechanics of a good action art. Well, what do you call these games? Are they action RPGs? No. I don't know. What are they? I don't know what they're called. Anyway, someone might help me out. Action RPG. Well, that's what Wraith is agreeing with me, I think. But anyway, it's that kind of game. It's actually quite competent, and it also has a little bit of a roguelike sort of thing to it as well, where you'll pick a character, create your character, and then you'll level up and unlock abilities. But at the same time, you pick up these things called runes, and they're like further abilities. So you might pick up a sword, and that sword might throw fire. And then you might pick up, what's another example? I picked up a bloody magic fedora that just followed me, and it shot, what was it? It was like, was it music symbols? I'm not sure, but it shot out something at enemies. It was basically a pet, but it was a hat. It was a fedora, and it would follow me and assisting in killing enemies. And then you could pick up a whole bunch of things like a dice, and the dice would fall out of the sky and explode and kill enemies. But you could pick up all these runes, but if you die, you will lose every single one of those runes. They're gone. But your leveling up stays as it is. You don't lose that, and you don't lose the abilities that you've unlocked through skill points. But all of the runes that you pick up will go. So there's that kind of little bit of it's like half permadeath, a little bit roguelike. And basically it's very much like, if you know how Destiny Diablo. Same sort of thing. You go and you'll do missions, quests, and you'll work your way, and then you'll eventually get a quest to kill a boss. And then you go find the boss and you kill them, and you move on through the overworld map. And the good thing is it is online and local co-op. But the good thing about the online co-op is there is absolutely no tethering. So we could essentially join a server. You can make your own server, join up, and then go and play our own game. We don't even need to be together. So you could be halfway through the game and at the other end of the overworld map, and I could be still at the beginning. And if we wanted to, we could meet up by using portals, because just like in Diablo, you can press a button on your controller or the keyboard, and you can teleport back to like the main hub. And then your other player, who hasn't made it all the way to the end of the game yet, can use your portal to go with you to the end of the game. They might be under-leveled or whatever, but you can do stuff like that. And it's just so much fun. Or, your friend might come back and give you a hand. You're doing your own thing. You're like, oh, dude, I'm getting overwhelmed here. Can you come and give me a hand? So they can come back, or you can do your complete own thing. And your character will level up and go with you back into your own game offline if you want to. Really good. I think
it sounds pretty cool, yeah.
I think it's about $7 on Steam. Really good game. It's very fleshed out. It's actually pretty cool. So I recommend people give that a try. If you like that kind of game like Diablo, give Hero Siege a go. Highly recommended from me.
Oh, all right. Well, the next game from me is Desperados 3.
Just a quick correction. Martikins has said it's $9.99 on Steam.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful. So that's Australian. You were thinking US.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Or just got it wrong.
So I've started playing, I've kicked on a little bit more of playing Desperados 3. Desperados 3 is kind of it's an isometric strategy action game. So kind of like a real-time strategy game, but you're controlling a character as opposed to
like a team.
An entire fleet sort of thing. Yeah. So same sort of view as you've got. It's set in the Wild West, and you're going about doing your thing. I haven't played a whole heap of it. I've sort of been coming and going. It's very good. It's very well done, but it's a very different game to what I'm used to. So for me to actually get stuck into it, it's taken me a little while, if you know what I mean. It's interesting, I suppose, is the sort of start of.
But is it turn based?
No. At the moment, it seems to just be, that's where the sort of real-time strategy stuff comes in. You move to certain areas of the map in this section.
Oh, but it's not an action style game where you're actually like clicking to attack. You click and then it does what you want.
No. You've got to tell them to attack.
Yeah, but you're not clicking every time you want him to swing the weapon.
No.
Click attack, and then he'll go attack. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like Age of Empires sort of thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
like companion missions in Command and Conquer.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay, but like the Wild West.
Yeah, in the Wild West. So it's pretty cool. I'm hoping to stream a little bit of it, so keep an eye out, and when I go live, you'll see all the details come up. And the last one from me, I played this game on the PS4 Pro not long after it came out, and was absolutely blown away by it, and played it and finished it. I decided to download it on Game Pass for PC, and that's Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, yep.
Solely because I wanted to see what it was like on PC. It hasn't transferred across well.
What do you mean?
Like visual, like the sound, the sound on the PS4, because it had that 3D. What do they call it? Spatial sounds doesn't have the same effect of, instead of it being on the PS4 when I originally played it, the sound you could hear whispers and these sort of voices in her head, and they would whisper all around your head. In this one on the PC, it very much left or right. It's not front, back, moving around. All
right, well, here we go. I'm going to come to the rescue of PC here. User error. You clearly have your settings fucked up, because you can't tell me that the PlayStation 4 using A10s has better sound than a PC does using A10s.
I'm just saying how they use the sound.
It'll be exactly the same.
The sound is different.
No, it'll be exactly the same. It'll be settings.
Okay. All right. Well, you set them up, so you do them all.
I didn't set them up at all. I built the computer, installed Windows, and said, there you go. On your journey, work it out. God. Listen to this guy. It hasn't transferred across properly. God.
And
I'll tell you the difference. The difference in the experience will be you'll be able to play it over 60 frames and the graphics will be higher settings. That's it.
Yeah, well, the graphics are higher settings. I'm playing it at 75 frames because that's what my monitor is. And graphics looks good. There's a few glitches that I'm noticing that I didn't notice before. But again, it's been, a year and a half, 2 years since it came out?
Yeah.
If not, yeah, something like that. So, who knows what it was back then. But, there's been a few glitches with the water. The hair and whatnot is very ratty looking. But when you start moving and, playing it at 75 frames, it looks absolutely phenomenal. And especially when you get the close-up of Senua's face, that's all. There's lots of different reflections and the glint in her eyes and whatnot. It shows up very well. It's still a good-looking game. It's phenomenal. I think that's it for Game Talk this week.
I have two things.
Okay.
One, I found Spellbreak on Xbox.
It is on Xbox.
I don't know why it didn't come up when I searched it, but when I was searching Desperados 3, it came up then. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, there's it's on there. The other thing is Desperados 3 on Xbox has a free trial at the moment if you wanted to have a crack.
Not really.
So.
It'd be. I reckon it'd be all right with a controller. I'm playing it with keyboard and mouse.
For those that are interested, it's there. The game itself, I think, is kind of expensive, but anywho.
All right, boys, let's jump into some. What's that sound?
Oh, right. Yes. So last week, I do believe we had a correct answer, which is quite rare, which was from Martikins. I think got the correct answer for last week's What's That Sound? So have a listen. This is what it was, and I'll give you the answer. That was Kyle Crane speaking to Rice at the end of Dying Light. Yeah, so that was quite obvious why I picked that one. I've been playing quite a fair bit of Dying Light lately. Last week with Hellraid, and what is Martigan saying? That was nothing.
Yeah, it didn't come through.
Oh.
I figured you'd fix it in post.
Well, I can't fix it in post, but how did that not come? I tested it before.
I know.
What the hell? All right, here we go.
I was just waiting until you'd finished talking about it. I'm like, yeah, it didn't work.
All right, well, here it was anyway.
You want me to make my own rules? Rule number 1, you're gonna spend the rest of your goddamn life in fucking agony.
Yeah, that was actually Rice and, oh God, the chat. Jesus. Yep. And Kyle Crane in Dying Light. All right, so are we ready to hear this week's What's That Sound? I've got a new one for you. I can't actually remember what it was, but I've got it queued up, and I'm sure I'll remember enough to give you a bit of a hint after you listen to it. So have a listen to this week's What's That Sound? Oh, okay. Yep, I remember that one. So I think this one might be easy. We'll see. I don't know, because I thought I'd go a bit easier on you guys. Yeah, well, there we go. Straight away, the Wraith is correct. Unfortunately for everybody else that gets it right after this, I can't. Well, I just think you're copying the guy above. It's the way it works. But yeah, I thought that one was a little bit easier this week, but. Congratulations to the Wraith, you got it correct. But for everybody else playing along at home, if you think you know what this week's What's That Sound is, then go ahead to our Discord channel. If you're not a member in our Discord, then you could just go to the the description of the podcast. There's a link there. I'm not going to say what the link is because it's all like jumbled up letters. Click the link, join the Discord, go into the podcast channel and type your answer in there. Just for a bit of fun, we do that every week. That's it. All right, I'm done. Let's move on.
Let's move on to some news. All right. Probably kick it off with the biggest news from the past week, which is the pricing details from the Xbox and the full confirmation of the Xbox Series S. So do you want to have a go with that one, Grejio?
Now I got to remember what it was. It was $749 for the X and $449 for...
$499.
$499 for the S.
Yes, for the Series S. So it was pretty much, Xbox was pretty much forced their hand. Apparently some information has leaked out that their details and their upcoming digital showcase, which was supposed to be, I believe, this week, it was actually stolen off one of their servers, and their hand was kind of forced because out in the wild it come up that the Series S was in fact a thing. It is substantially smaller than the Series X and completely different setup. So different GPU, smaller SSD, but running the same chipset, I believe. Luke, you could probably clarify that bit.
No.
No? All right. So, same sort of chipset. Idea. Okay, well, same sort of chipset, but apparently a little bit slower. And when you're talking about, the teraflops that everyone talks about, I think it's only got 4 teraflops or something, which is less than what the Series X has, which has got all these people up in an uproar because they've only focused on how many teraflops things have, not actually the architecture behind it. These people who are arguing teraflops are obviously not in the know about what an actual teraflop is. You cannot measure
the performance of a device or two devices side by side simply by comparing the teraflops. And as much as that sounds suggestive, you just can't do it, because you could have a system, and whether it be a console or a computer, that has 10 teraflops. And then you could have another system that has 14 teraflops. And they could very well perform exactly the same, because that's not what teraflops is all about. Now, I'm no engineer. I'm not going to go into explaining exactly how it all works, but I know from research and listening to people explain things that do know what they're talking about, that that's not a viable way to compare the performance in a system. You do need to take a lot of other things into consideration. Now, I've got a graphics card in my computer. It's a GTX 1080 Ti. Now, I think that's got about 10 teraflops, but there is no way that this graphics card is going to be better than what the Series X has in it. I think the Series X has got, I think, a little bit more. What was it?
12 point something.
12.15.
Yeah.
But I think the PS5 has got, what, 9?
10 point something, I think.
10. Right. Well, I'll tell you now that a PS5 will perform better than my 1080 Ti. But not like leaps and bounds, but they'll be on par. And I would dare say that the Series X, again, will perform very similar to a PlayStation 5. There's a lot of other things that you need to take into consideration, not just teraflops. Like, it's absolute madness, you know.
It's down to fanboys. That's all it is.
Yeah, a simple way to explain it is think about bottlenecking. That's another easy way to talk about it. You've got a graphics card with 14 teraflops, but you've got an i3 processor. I'll tell you now, a graphics card with 8 teraflops and an i5 or an i7, that's going to be a better system. That'll run better, even though it's got less teraflops. There's more that goes into making a game work than just raw power in teraflops. But anyway, but if people want to think that that's the bee's knees, then good on them. They can have their stupid little Twitter and Facebook wars about shit they know nothing about.
So
it's funny to watch, though.
So you want a quick rundown of the difference between the two?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So CPU, they're pretty much identical. The GPU is slightly smaller in the S. The RAM is a little bit less. Obviously, the performance target is slightly less. It's 1440p as opposed to 4K at up to 120 for both. The storage is slightly smaller, and the S is digital only.
Yeah, no disk drive.
So those are the main differences.
Now, the other bit of news I wanted to, or the other sort of question I had for you boys that we briefly spoke about beforehand, the naming. So people like The Verge, Kotaku, CNET, there was one other big name as well. Anyway, they've all put articles up this last week, pretty much being, if you work in retail this holiday season, good luck explaining what the Xbox is. You know, whether it be you've got a Series X, you've got a Series S, you've got the One X, the One S. Now, the One X is already discontinued, so there's, you know, the stock's starting to thin out on those. The One S is last generation. It's, or, you know, current generation, I suppose, and obviously going to start being discounted to get it out the door. Then you've got the Series S and the X, which is next gen. Now, have you boys ever had, I know we're in the sort of the gaming sphere, but have you had any confusion over the way that they've named it? Like to that point where you'd think, you know what, I'm going to write an article about that.
No.
No, look, you know, we're in the middle of it all. You know, we're up with all this stuff, so we understand it. We're not going to have an issue with the difference between a Series S and just a 1S. It all makes sense to us because we think about it, we see it, we're reading stuff about it all the time. We own them, right? But I can absolutely see that there are going to be parents out there buying stuff for their kids on Christmas that will be confused. But as for people in retail, if they are worth their weight as a sales rep, it should not be hard. And if it is hard, they need to get a new job because it'll be simple. Mum and dad comes in and goes, my kid wants a new Xbox. What do I get them? And then you say, do you want the latest and the greatest, which is more expensive, or do you want the older one, which isn't as good, but a lot cheaper? And they will say, I want the latest and greatest. Okay, well then have a look at the Series S and the Series X. Which one do you want? This one's more powerful. This one's not as powerful. Do you have a 4K TV? No, I don't. Well, then just get the Series S. Make your sale. Shut the fuck up. It's not that hard.
Exactly my theory. That if you're working in retail, that is you're going to know what these are and understand what they are. So I don't see there being a concern to the point where these bigger media outlets are actually making such a big deal out of it. I don't understand. Like, people are reading it. Hell, I read it. Yeah, it's just kind of pointless.
Yeah, look, if a salesperson is having a hard time, then they're a shit salesperson that are selling the wrong product.
I was going to say, it's 3 products. How can you not keep your head around 3 products?
Yeah,
well, that's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough product knowledge,
about LG's new TVs, mate. Like,
yeah, well, the TVs would be harder. But if you don't have enough product knowledge that you're able to put it simply, what's different about them, well, then you probably shouldn't be working where you're selling that stuff. You shouldn't be in that area because you obviously have got no interest in it. Because I'm a firm believer that if you're in sales, you should be selling something that you've got at least partial interest and passion about. Because if you try to learn the ins and outs of something that you fucking don't care about, then you will not retain any of it. You will have to read it off a page every single time. And that's not going to work in sales, especially around holiday times where it's busy. You need to be able to bang, bang, bang. This is what that is. This is what that is. Do you want it or not? Piss off. There's more customers I need to sell.
Yeah, and that's why I work in the building industry, because I like to build shit. So
yeah, and it makes it a lot easier because you're enjoying what you do.
Exactly. All right. Well, if anyone else has got some ideas and some input on that, make sure you hit us up and let us know your thoughts. Luke, Nvidia has done a bit of a backflip and agreed to bring out the Founders Editions.
It has. All right. So last week we got the announcement for the new 30 series graphics cards, but they also noted, and this was sort of brought up to me later because it wasn't really voiced during the announcement, and I guess that's because it was an American announcement, and as far as America's concerned, we don't exist down here. So I found out down the grapevine where there was a tweet that came out and they said, oh yeah, by the way, the Founders Editions cards, they're not being sold in Australia or New Zealand. They're just going to be in the States and probably some other select places. However, it would appear that they've changed their minds, and I don't know why, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm thinking it's a good thing that they've changed their minds. But what they said is, after listening to the feedback from our loyal fans, we are excited to announce that we have been able to source GeForce RTX 3080 and 3090 Founders Editions cards to be made available to our Australian and New Zealand customers. Note that they didn't mention the 3070. But the 3070 is the one that's coming out last. That's not till October, whereas the 3080 and the 3090 are both this month. 17th, I believe, for the 3080, and 24th, I think, if I remember correctly, for the 3090. Now, is this a good thing, as in Nvidia finished up their little showcase and walked out the back and went, oh, now I remember where we put all those Founders Editions cards? I thought we'd lost them. Oh, well, seeing as though we got them now, we'll send them to Australia and New Zealand. Or are they ticking off a box and saying, yes, we're supplying them to Australia and New Zealand, and giving us like one per shop? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they just sending us the tiny little part of their inventory just to tick the box and say, all right, we're keeping you happy. You can have the founders cards, but you're getting none, pretty much.
Well, if you think about it, right, so you had the showcase last week. Shipping from China, Japan takes 2 weeks via boat. It comes out end of this week. So they already had to be on their way if this was the case.
Well,
unless
I mean,
if they're shipping them by air,
yeah, it could be air.
Then there would be sweet bugger all. I can't foresee them putting a big load on air because doing anything via air freight-wise is horrendously expensive.
But would it make more sense to send more via air to make it worth it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like it's when you ship via anything, you're paying for the cubic weight and sort of how much room it takes up. So if they don't fill a plane, they don't fill a plane. It doesn't really matter if they only put one crate on, or two crates enough to, like you said, give one per shop. Then that could be something. But so I'm thinking is that they're shipping it by sea and they were already on the way, and they said no originally to gauge what sort of feedback they'd get, and then everyone's blown up about it, and they've gone, yeah, okay, cool, well, we're sending them. Yeah,
look, I'm not sure, but anyway, they have backflipped. They are going to send sell the Founders Edition in Australia and New Zealand. I originally wasn't interested in the Founders Edition because of the strange 12-pin plug and, having that sort of sit in a case that I've now made for aesthetics. It was a bad idea, but I have since found a solution, which is a GPU SAG bracket, which houses the cables, the power cables, so they can hide them. That could be a solution as well, although I probably have to remove one of my fans to do that. But anyway, that's a story for another time. But I'm also really keen for a 3080. So getting a Founders Edition, that's probably going to be quicker, I'm imagining. Who knows? I don't really know. I don't really know how it works with the AIBs, the partner cards. I don't know if they're going to be available on day one or not. I don't know.
There's been a few partner cards out in the wild.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think there's been any official announcement.
But anyway, for those listening now, the online sales of the 3080 will go live on this Thursday at 11 p.m. Is Thursday still the 17th? Yeah, it is. So it's going to be 11 p.m. local Sydney time. So adjust that for your local time, and that's when they're going to go live. Oh, shit, I wasn't going to tell people that.
Everywhere that I've read that information, they've finished it off with good luck.
Yeah, well, that's what I need.
I think a lot of people are assuming, and let's be honest, they're price wise they're really accessible. So I think a lot of people are assuming that a lot of people are going to jump onto them. So good luck.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm giving $100 bounty to anyone listening. If you can pre-order one, if you don't want it for yourself, I'll pay you $100 fee.
Finder's fee.
Finder's fee if you get to order one. The only problem is you're fucked if I get one because I'm not buying it off you if I get my own. So you're probably not worth doing that, actually.
We'll tee it up. We'll tee it up on Thursday night. At least the two of us can sit there and make sure which one of us gets one.
Just mashing F5 on the web browser. SLI 3080s. SLI is not a thing. That is dead.
No worries. All right. Well, next bit of news. Last week we had Ubisoft Forward. So a whole lot of stuff was released. I'll come back to you afterwards, Luke. So we'll go through
Ubisoft backward step, more like it.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll go and have a look at a few different things that they've come up with. I don't think this is 100% the full list, but it's the stuff that I was more interested in. So we'll have a look at Pilgrim versus the World. They're re-releasing that. I don't think it's been upgraded or anything. It still looks very similar to what it did from what I can remember. It's been re-released on everything. Riders Republic. Now, have either of you seen any detail for this game?
I've never heard of it. What is that?
No.
All right. Well, it's an MMO from the same studio that brought Steep out. So there wasn't really a whole lot of detail about the game.
I thought you said writers, as in writing with a pen.
Writers.
I know the one you're talking about now.
Yeah. So it's there's mountain biking, skiing, parachuting, gliding. Pretty much, I just described the trailer as an extreme sports clusterfuck. It was just stuff everywhere. And what's with so many Ubisoft studios now going with this neon color scheme?
I don't know. Maybe it's just in fashion.
I was going to say, just in vogue, mate.
It's just a Vogue thing. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Watch Dogs Legion got a bit more of an update and some details for it. One of the details being Aiden Pierce from the original title will be coming as part of the Season Pass.
This is a game that I'm starting to get a little bit more interested in. I love my Watch Dogs. I love the first two. But I was a little bit iffy on this new one because I thought they were getting a little bit sort of over their head with the fact that you can recruit anybody and play as any combination of NPCs you can play as. But from what I've seen from the Ubisoft Forward, it's actually starting to take shape quite nicely and it's looking good. I'm not as worried as I originally was. It's looking good, man.
It's got me interested. I didn't really get into the Watch Dogs games. I don't know why, because really I should have with the sort of stories they are. But I don't know what it was about them. I just didn't get suckered into them. But it's definitely looking intriguing in the style. So be good to see. The next one on my list is Immortals Phoenix Rising. Now, this one is sort of like a third-person action-adventure title. Has a very much... When I was watching this and looking up the details for it, I kind of got a very much visual feel of like Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It's a fully fledged non-Nintendo Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
it looks good.
But then combat style was kind of like Devil May Cry. So there was a bit of a crossover there. It does look very cool. There was a whole release on gameplay. I think there's about 15 minutes of gameplay shown. It was originally titled Gods and Monsters, so that's kind of gives you a bit of an overview of what the game pretty much is. You're fighting gods and monsters. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. This is a ground-up remake.
Yes, please.
Yeah, have you seen the visuals for the ground-up remake? There is some details in the trailer on our website.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that it's a ground-up remake. Did they actually say that?
They did say that.
It doesn't look like a ground-up remake. It looks like a remastered.
Refresh. Yeah.
Like they've just changed some of the textures to a higher quality and tweaked a few of the mechanics. It doesn't look like a ground-up remake.
Yeah, like there's bits of the combat that look new, and the mechanics of it look new, but a lot of the visuals look substantially old still.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It just looks like it's been lifted up from what it originally was. It just looks like a HD version, a remastered rather than remade. I didn't realise it was a remake.
Yeah, apparently the detail I got said it was a ground-up remake. So,
well, I'm calling BS on that.
Have you seen it, Gretch?
Only pictures, and I agree with you. I wouldn't have thought this was a ground-up remake.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it looks good. Like it looks like a good remastered version of the game, and I really loved the original. And the original suffers from really shitty textures by today's standards. So it's good to have this sort of overhaul. The only issue I've got with it is claiming that it's a full remake because it doesn't look that good. But I'm still keen on it. I would love to get my hands on this, but it's not out till January, I think.
If this is a full ground-up remake, the budget for this came out of petty cash.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably right, yeah.
Now, the next one on the list, do you remember a little while ago now, we went for a trek, all of us went for a trek into the city and had a open world free roam VR experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Well, we all did.
Yeah.
Did we?
And
Yep.
yes.
Got pictures on my Instagram of it.
Oh, I'm not on the same page here. Clearly, I don't remember what you're talking about yet.
When we went to the city and we did the virtual reality thing where you got to walk around the room.
Oh, were you talking about the
zombie thing?
Not a Ubisoft thing. It was the
No.
the one where we wore the backpacks and shit and had
Yes.
the guns. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ubisoft are re-releasing Far Cry 3 in a free roam VR experience.
Right.
So same sort of thing. So these centers. So this isn't something that you can play at home. This is something that you go to one of these centers that have, the backpack, the headset, the fake gun, and all this, and a room to walk around in, and you play, a story from Far Cry 3.
Oh,
So
wow.
even
Do they include free coronavirus with every game you play?
No,
This
that's
is a great time to bring that out.
Well, it's not coming out 100% now. This is something that's coming in the future. There's even, you've even got Vast to deal with, which I think is actually pretty cool.
They might have kept that one in their back pocket until the world wasn't in peril.
Well, you've got to have something to look forward to because I think everyone's sick of the world being in peril.
Yeah, but look, not the right time to announce that. That's my claim anyway. I think they should have held on to that one. But anyway.
Fair enough. Next one is the Division 2, the Summit DLC. I'm not a fan of this DLC.
Oh, what's wrong with it?
It kind of it's a thing that you've done 100. It's been done 100 times before. So it's a 100-level skyscraper, and every level that you go up, the enemies get progressively harder.
Oh, okay.
So it's just you know what I mean. Like it's been done many, many times before.
Yeah,
I still go back to the original Division with the survival DLC, and that was some of the best DLC that I've played in any sort of title. It was just something completely different and a different way to do it. So
is Goro at the top of the tower?
yeah, there's it actually does say that there's a unique experience on level 100. So it could very well be Goro.
Please be Goro. And if you lose, you get thrown off the building and you fall all the way to your death.
And the last bit that I've got is Rainbow Six has been confirmed that anyone who owns it on the PS4 or the Xbox One will be getting upgraded to the next generation for nothing, and they'll be available from launch. And also that Sam Fisher is joining the roster. And there might be some bubbling away on the other end of the line there.
Well, did you just say that this was the last one? The last thing you've got on your list?
Yeah.
So where's the Splinter Cell announcement?
I must have done a Ubisoft on that one and forgot all about it.
No, you haven't forgotten about it because it fucking wasn't one. Because yet again, we get another Ubisoft Forward, another announcement from Ubisoft where they tell us all about how they're remaking a game that we've all forgotten about and didn't really ask for, and that's Prince of Persia. Granted, good game, glad they're remaking it, but I don't remember hearing anyone going, fuck, you know what we need? We need Sands of Time remade. No, but the internet is crying out saying, what the fuck, where is Sam Fisher? Where is Splinter Cell? Stop putting Sam Fisher in your Ghost Recon games and your Siege and your stupid mobile games. Put him in his own fucking game. This is just another announcement where they piss everyone off and tell nothing about a new Splinter Cell game. Just a remaster. Hell, don't even remaster it. I don't know, just re-release it with some better controls and resolutions and updated interface.
That's a remaster.
Well, no.
Better controls, updated interface, and better visuals. That's a remaster.
No, not visuals, like resolution and shit. Like when you played on PC, the older one, it's really hard to get the resolutions right. If you run it at 1440p on a 4K monitor, it only jumps in the corner. It doesn't actually go full screen. It's a whole thing. It's a pain in the ass.
It's running at 4x3.
No, not exactly, but it's a little bit painful. But for fuck's sake, just remaster or
Just do it.
just make a new game. Fuck! What is wrong with these idiots? They don't even acknowledge it.
I can't believe that no one's actually come out from Ubisoft and said, this is what's happening. Hell, even this last week, we got an updated information from Skull and Bones that before the Ubisoft Forward thing was done, the people that are working on Skull and Bones come out and said, Skull and Bones won't be at Ubisoft Forward because we're doing X, Y, Z. It'll be, more info is coming later this year or some crap like that. But no one has acknowledged anyone's want for a Splinter Cell.
No, it's never been brought up. They've never even said anything to the fans about this is why we're not making it. There's like a legal battle or something, or the intern accidentally deleted all of our internal files on Splinter Cell, so we've had to just throw him into other games because his game was deleted or something.
Or we have a catalogue of unfinished games that is beginning to rival our catalogue of finished games.
It is. And Ubisoft used to be my favorite game developer. They used to make my favorite games. And in the last 5 years or so, they've completely destroyed the games that I loved of theirs. Now, Siege is a good game, but they've destroyed Rainbow Six. That is not a Rainbow Six game. That's a completely different game altogether. That shits me. Assassin's Creed, there's no Assassins, there's no Creed. It's just another game completely. The Assassin's Creed is shit. It's just, they're just ruining one after the other.
They're very much turning all their current games into, live models that you continually,
games as a service.
Yeah, the next Watch Dogs has got a season pass.
It does, yeah. Look, I mean, Watch Dogs is my last hope. Hopefully that's still a decent game, and it looks like it is, but it'll only take so long before they destroy that too, and it's starting to shit me. Why do companies like Ubisoft and EA have to resort to these kind of measures while other companies don't? I don't get it. I'm going to cry.
Other companies don't have shareholders that are just interested in the money. That's all they care about.
Well, I just wish people would snap out of it with Assassin's Creed and things like that and just go, you know what? I'm not buying that because it's not what it's exactly the same as the game before it. That's more of a fucking remaster than Prince of Persia. Here is Assassin's Creed Valhalla remastered. What do you mean? I thought it was a new game. Oh, my bad. Yeah, new game.
Someone fire the assistant. Yeah.
Reskin.
It's dumb.
All right, mate. Well, let's get it on to everyone's favourite, Nintendo. So, what Nintendo news have you got for us, Luke?
All right. Well, look, Ubisoft has ramped me up, and I'm aggravated now. So Nintendo's going to cop it too now. Nintendo, I'm gonna quote Angry Joe here because it just seems necessary. Nintendo, you're down fucked up. Super Mario 3D All-Stars releases this week on the 18th of September. That's all fine and good. The three games that are included, I think it's Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Sweet, that sounds good. However, in all of Nintendo's wisdom, they've announced that it'll be a very limited release and will only be on sale until the 31st of March 2021. Why?
Yep.
Why? This is basically immediately said to all of these grubs online on Amazon and eBay and quickly buy them up before the actual fans can get them and sell them at 2, 3, 4, 5 times the price. I literally went onto eBay today and I searched for the most expensive of that game. And these are some of the prices that I got. I've got two here. $529.03 plus shipping. Shipping was $45.35.
Wow.
That's nearly $600 for that. I saw another listing. This was the next most expensive one. $302.29 plus shipping of $119.56.
Where the hell are they shipping it from?
No, they're just price gouging, mate. The more expensive that they make the shipping, the less they pay in the seller fees on eBay. It's an absolute joke. But this is what they've done by making it a stupid limited release. You know people want this. Just make it a release. Why make it so the scalpers can go out there and make a fortune? And if they can't sell them because they're asking too high, well, then the people that want the game miss out. Stupid. Absolutely stupid, Nintendo.
Well, for anyone that is listening and is wanting it, it's currently on Amazon for $63.32.
That's pretty good. But yeah, the thing is, but like a lot of people probably, like, and I'm talking about like either fans, like not fans, sorry, parents or whatever, they're only going to know about this if they walk in the shop and see it on the shelf. So people that aren't privy to pre-orders and that, they've got no hope in hell. And then once they realise that it's sold out in store, then they may resort to online, and this is what they'll see.
Yeah, and especially because it's going to be people that are, our ages that played them originally that are wanting to, they'll sort of walk in and go, oh, shit, yeah, I love that. I'll pick it up for the kid. And then, oh, sorry, we've got none in stock, go and check online. And then, all this sort of crap comes out. Yeah,
and it won't take long before people find that they're sold out in stores. Because Nintendo games, like the first-party games, they very often, physical, sells out real quick.
Yeah.
The first shipping. So then they're going to resort to online. So they're going to go and buy these $68 ones. They're going to dry up real quick too after release. And then the only thing that's going to be left on there, people are going to be hitting their heads on $529.03.
Is this going to be released on the store, like digital?
I think it is. Okay. And I think that it may be only the physical copy that is limited. I think you may still be able to buy it digitally.
Yeah, okay.
But I didn't have that information in this article that I looked at. It is limited on digital. Digitally, it's limited as well. Well, on the bright side, digitally, they're not going to run out before the 31st of March. So you still will be able to get it digitally up until that date. But still, why limit it? That's dumb.
So the thing is, with it digitally too, you'll have the same sort of issues again there, because people will then start selling Nintendo accounts. like they did with the Epic
accounts.
Yeah,
after the date.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that with the Switch. No.
Okay, well, that'll help. Because that side.
I'm pretty sure... Look, I don't look. Maybe I'm about 90% there. I'm probably wrong. But I know there has been issues with, if your like Nintendo Switch dies, there's a chance that you might actually lose your digital games. But I know that was the case with the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure if that is the same case with the Switch. Because I'm pretty sure they tie to the account. And Martikins is chiming in saying, no, they fixed that with the Switch. It was early on. I think they fixed it for the Switch. Okay. Oh, that's good news. So you can use your account. So it is tied to the account, not the console. So in saying that, if that is correct, you're right, Snoogs. People will probably start up a whole shitload of their own accounts, buy the game on the account, and then flog the account after the 31st for $600.
Yeah.
What a joke. What a joke. You're just handing it to these grubs, Nintendo. Anyway.
It's not a new phenomenon. I know Capcom are really bad for it. You try finding copies of Street Fighter after certain dates. They don't
tell about it beforehand. we all know Capcom does it.
Yeah.
But they don't come out and say, after Christmas we're not making any more.
Yep.
We just know that 6 months down the track it's probably going to happen. But yeah, I think it's the fact that Nintendo have come out and actually said it. That's when everyone's gone ballistic, and to have those sorts of pre-order prices on just the game on eBay already, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, like I said, we expect it from Capcom. We don't expect it from Nintendo. So if they're going to pull this kind of thing, they do need to tell people. Like you can't spring it on them, kind of thing.
The big problem is that this is 3 massive first-party games. Could you imagine Halo being a 3-month window or a 6-month window for sale? Like, this is madness.
Oh, totally. I mean, this is an exercise in price gouging on all levels, even from Nintendo's end. Like, this is how you create artificial. Yeah, you create artificial. What's the word I'm looking for? Demand.
Hype.
Yeah,
demand. Yeah.
You can't, especially with digital, because your supply is ridiculous. Supply and demand with digital becomes a little irrelevant because your supply is endless. As many times as you download it, you like it. So the only way to increase that is to create these artificial demands. So anyway,
I think it's a dick move. You done fucked up, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's good old Angry Joe. Gotta love it. All right, well, the last bit of news is we've just gotten some news through that the PS5 showcase is this week. So the information come through, I think, yesterday, the day before. I got a email released today from Sony. Before PlayStation 5 launches this holiday, Sony Interactive Entertainment wants to give players one more look at some of the great games coming to PS5 at launch and beyond. The next PlayStation 5 digital showcase will weigh in at around 40 minutes and features updates on the latest titles from worldwide studios and other world-class development partners. So you can tune in live on Twitch or YouTube on Thursday, September 17th at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. What are we going to see? What do you think?
We're going to see a price, we're going to see a release date, and we're going to see...
Bugsnax.
I don't know. That's it. What? Bugsnax. God. I don't know. I
don't think they've got anything new up their sleeve.
Yeah, I don't think that they would have anything that would be ready to show, but they probably might show us more on Call of Duty because they're in bed with COD, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, so we probably might get a little bit more. They might give us some live gameplay of multiplayer, but I don't think it'll be overly exciting. I think it's going to be quite short, probably half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and really they're just
40 minutes.
Yeah, and it'll just give us release date and price, and I'm guessing the price is going to be the same as the Series X, and I reckon the release date's going to be pretty much the same as well. Also, I was listening back to last week's podcast, and it didn't dawn on me when you said it during the show. It sort of it went over my head. But you predicted the 3rd of December for the release date.
Yeah, there was thoughts around that because of that was the date that the original released in Japan was the 3rd of December '94.
Oh, okay, yeah, that won't fly this time round. No way.
Yeah, like it won't. But really, there's only a week between the 22nd of November and the 3rd of December.
Oh, I think the PlayStation will come out first.
Yeah.
Yep, I reckon now that Sony know everything that Xbox has up their sleeve, pretty much, they'll come out and say that it's coming out on the 1st of November, and they may even undercut their price by $50. I don't know.
Oh, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with the discless version because it's essentially the same machine, but obviously no.
That's got to be $100 cheaper.
Yeah, I think it's got to be 100. You know, it's and the difference when you sort of come up against, like, it'll sit between the two Xboxes, but when you sort of look that, you know, the majority of times, like 90% of the time, you're only going to be able to buy stuff off the PlayStation Store to play on that title. That extra that you have to pay for them is going to rack up. So you've got to have some sort of distance. Like $50 isn't enough of an incentive to buy that one over the discless one. It needs to be.
Yeah, that's right. Might even be $150 cheaper. But yeah, you're right. They've got PlayStation Now, but we don't have that here. So there's no Game Pass. So you literally just have to pay those exorbitant store prices, online store prices, and everything is $99 on there on release. All the AAA full price games are all $100, where you could easily go to the store and buy it for $79. What's that?
I think Godzilla's still 110.
Yes. Oh, I remember I got a review copy of that game, and it was the most expensive piece of shit I've ever played. Oh my god! But that's my prediction. But I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. to watch that. I'll watch it when I wake up.
When you get up. Look, I want to, and I
probably won't.
I probably won't. Like, I've woken up for so many of these releases, and they just don't have. And I think it all comes down to the fact that there's no people there. There's no people there that you can share in the hype with. I'm literally sitting here in a dark room trying not to go, ooh, it's just there's no one. There's no one to share the enjoyment. It's just like you're watching the TV, and it's like, yeah, all right, cool, good night. I'll probably just wake up and see it when I get up. All right, well, boys, that's it. All right, boys, on to our last words. All right, well, once again, a shout out to our live listeners who have been chatting along, throwing some very weird and some very wrong images up in our chat, which is always a good thing. So we got Kaz, Martikins, Radicus, Skrill, and the Race still with us, and Atan took off not too long ago. So thanks for joining us, guys. As always, has been a lot of fun. Lucas, any other last words, mate?
If anyone cares, the Apple keynote for this year is tomorrow, where they're going to announce their new phones and iPads. But I don't think anyone cares these days.
And you've got to watch it on an Apple device, and if you have Epic Games installed, it won't let you watch it.
What? That's not true, if anybody's wondering. It's
never true at the time.
Yeah, that's happening. So whatever. I don't even care.
No, it'll be be more of the same. I think. Grejio, any last words from you, mate?
No, not really. Be good to each other.
Thanks, Bill and Ted.
Excellent.
I want to go see that.
You guys heard of the Divoom D2?
Is that the one with the two chicks?
What?
Sorry.
No.
I only know what it is because we've had this conversation.
All right. There's a thing called the Divoom D2. Now, Divoom is the brand. D2 is the product. It's basically a Bluetooth speaker, but like a retro one that looks like a mini computer. I did a review on it.
Is it supposed to have some sort of accent associated with it?
Accent? What do you mean?
Or some inflection in how it's said?
Oh, I don't know how it's said. That's just how I say it because that's how it's written. It doesn't have any fancy things on the words.
Okay.
But
sorry for butting in. I just.
Oh no, it could very well be said differently, but that's how I say it. And until I'm corrected by somebody in the know, it's Divoom D2. Basically, it's the dumbest sounding name for one of the coolest little gadgets I've seen. There's a picture of it up in the chat just there from the Wraith. He's like super keen on it. But I've known about these for quite a while, and they look really neat. I really wanted to get one. They can be very pricey depending on where you get it from, but look around. You can get them for the proper price because there's price gouging with these things too. There's price gouging everywhere. If you get it for the proper price, they're actually reasonably priced. But it's a Bluetooth speaker that has very good sound, very well engineered, very good quality product, but it also has like a pixelated 16 by 16 screen on it. And go and check them out. I've got the video on our YouTube channel. Links are in the description. Go and have a look. I pretty much say that this is a device that nobody needs, but everyone will want, especially if you were born in the 80s. So cool. Go and check it out.
Go and check it out over on our YouTube channel. And while you're flicking around, Aussie Gamers TV and Snoogavision over on Twitch, and of course Grejio XBL on the Instas. And that's it, guys. Let's close it up, shall we? Yep. Thank you very much to everyone that's listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed on our show over in our Discord channel, or hit us up via our socials. While you're at it, hit up the website www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me. As always, I have been Snoogs.
I've been Lucas.
And I have been Grejio.
Soyuz.
Bye-bye, dude. Ooh, once again, we have reached the end of another week in gaming. And if you've listened all the way up until this point of the show, then there's a good chance that you're a perfect fit for the Age XP Discord channel. And you can join by using the links in the show description. Once you've joined, you will find yourself within a community of amazing people who are all interested in one thing, and that's gaming. You can also join in live while we record the show and have your say. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you'll be notified when the next episode is available for your listening pleasure. Until next time, take care, be safe, and keep on gaming.